NASDAQ is definitely starting to crack because Nvidia has lost about, I think, $500 billion in market cap in a couple of trading days, which is pretty spiffy. People are running around thinking that, oh my God, stocks are falling. Stocks are at lifetime highs or very close to them. The only stinker in the lot is Nvidia, but it's a really important one. So that's a very cool canary in the coal mine, I think. But yeah, Spider on the whole, I mean, it's down 0.05% on this chart. So meh. Diamonds are kind of the new Nvidia. Diamonds are doing well. They're up strong, pretty close to lifetime highs. It's markedly green in sharp contrast to a lot of other stuff going on out there. IYT, quite green. This is the transports. This is a beautiful bearish setup, which will only be complete if it crosses below this green line. It's going to take some doing, but I think we're going to get there. In particular, as you know, I'm very fond of UAL, United Airlines, as a component of the transports. UAL is having a very strong day. I've got puts on this, September puts. Most of my puts are September 20 puts in the money. This is up over 3%. That's fine. I'm not worried about this chart. It looks really good. Let's talk about everybody's favorite stock for a moment, Nvidia. As I said, this peaked. It was sort of like with the Grok announcement, X.AI announcement on Wednesday evening / Thursday morning, SMCI, Nvidia, Dell, all been bonkers. We can see here that over the course of merely 3 trading days, that is Thursday, Friday, and today, we went on Nvidia from over 140, that's 140.76. Today we were down around 118. That's, it's just dialing back about a week of gains or so on, but it's still like $500 billion. It's really remarkable. Certainly hundreds of billions at the moment. There is possible support. Let's emphasize here, because we've had little dips before all along the way. The Nvidia bull market was not broken here or here or here or any of these other places where it fell for even weeks. I mean, this was tremendous fall from March 8 down to mid-April. There's over a month of bear market for Nvidia. Didn't matter. It added on another $1 trillion or so past that. So I'm not running around declaring victory and like Nvidia's doomed now. Not at all. It's fallen a bunch of times. In fact, just to argue against myself, we're approaching important support right now by way of this dashed line. But I've got to tell you, since I'm in the middle of the Silicon Valley, I'm surrounded by this insanity, and I've been here a while, and I've studied it since I was a kid, I know a few things about how this place works. The cold fact of the matter is that Ma and Pa Kettle are finally buying Nvidia and thinking about how great this AI newfangled thing is. No. Take it from someone who grew up with computers since 1979, who's been online since 1981, who's written 20 books about computers and has lived here all my adult life. AI is going to be the biggest joke. You talk about an AI winter, it is coming. And at the moment, the likes of OpenAI are running around screaming, throwing incredible salaries at kids. Believe me, I know a bunch of them. Here's $1 million, Mr. 21-year-old. They are desperate. It's like, the old trading saying, scared money is dead money. This is what's going on with OpenAI. They're running around giving any amount of money these kids require to come on board and basically gobble up all the gray matter that they can. At the same time, all of last week, vacation. All of next week, vacation. It's a pretty good gig. 7-figure salary when you're just getting out of Acme and you don't even have to work. Pretty sweet. It's not a good business model. So I'm telling you, in a year or two, it's going to be, what happened to OpenAI? Because if I added up all the time I spent using their products over the past year, it's about a minute. So just trust me on this. Trust me on this. This is going to be a lot of fun. So onward. SMH. This is down 2.39%. We have broken well below that channel again. Don't include me in this. It tried to push its way back on the channel and get stability again. It did not last. It is just gave up the ghost. There it goes. So it's resuming below that channel. NVDD, which is a financial instrument designed to go up when Nvidia goes down. I suppose it's constructed. I've never been in the financial products industry directly. I suppose that there are a lot of customers that can't buy options or can't short stocks. This is a mechanism by which you can be effectively short Nvidia without being short anything. So NVDD suddenly getting a lot of buying interest. Look at the volume. Look what's going on. A lot of interest all of a sudden in being bearish on Nvidia. ARM, which has had a great run, has not broken intermediate support yet. It is still stable. And I say again, believe me, I'm not running around like semiconductors are doomed. No, they could go up for the rest of the week, as far as I know. But I am saying that this is the first serious kind of hiccup they've had since early March. On semiconductors, I continue to like on the short side. It's a nice clean chart. It's a big old topping pattern. It's got a squeaky clean price gap there, which I'm using as my own kind of stop loss level. So it's nice. It's nice on. And then in general, here's SOX, the Semiconductor Index, SOX. One thing worth watching is this green trend line right here. This trend line is anchored down to April 22. We are getting close to it. It may well find support there. It might not. And if it does break it, that will be more interesting. But as it is now, we're certainly kind of blowing the froth off the beer here, and it's getting back down to that support. So yeah, today could be the bottom. I don't think so, of Nvidia. The past 3 trading days of selling have definitely taken some of the verve off of that. Here's the cubes, also down a bit. It's kind of like it's been a one stock rally. That's a bit of a one stock pull down, really relegated just to the tech stocks. Bitcoin's down over $3,000. It's getting really hit hard. I've talked a lot lately, relatively speaking, about how crypto is sort of soured, how the halvening thing was a complete non-event. And I would say again, that it's important to remember that assets are joined at the hip. These are all the animal spirits tied together. Bitcoin, Nvidia, all the other stocks, essentially, all gold, all assets, everything but the VIX, is basically tied at the hip. And it's interesting to me that Bitcoin's getting wiped out so badly. It's down about $15,000 from its high earlier this year. And yet stocks are, small caps are up 0.8%. I mean, stocks aren't being very freaked out by this, but it's an interesting bleed out on the crypto space. We can see that reflected also in Ethereum, and what was promulgated there as a reason to buy it is that, they're going to do ETFs for that too, as if that saved Bitcoin. So yeah, they're running out of reasons. Yeah, my revelation on this is unchanged. These are gambling tokens, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a human need for this. A certain portion of humanity loves to gamble. They like the thrill. Crypto is a great way to do that. That is the beginning and the end of these things in terms of their purpose, not some libertarian dream state. So yeah, I got to be careful. As I've said before, religious zealots have nothing on crypto people. So they get ornery if you don't worship at the same altar as they do. MicroStrategy is taking it on the chin here a bit too, because they are essentially a Bitcoin hedge fund. They're down over $100 a share. And the brokers that are very married to this too, in terms of their principal prosperity, are also sinking. Coinbase, for example, down over $12. I only show this because I love this on the short side, except it's so cheap. It's just too cheap to mess with. But this is Siri. I might have shown this to you last week. I don't remember because it is like a $2 stock. But Sirius is saying it's in serious trouble. It's too cheap. So I'll just say it's very vulnerable right now. That all that overhead supply that I've tinted to magenta there, and it's going to hold it back. I think it's going to go much lower. But as I said, if this was a $90 stock, I'd be all over it. But as it is now, it's $2. Amazon, I bought puts on this today. It's not any sort of really clean pattern, but and I'm not a fundamental trader, but it does have a PE approaching 60, and I think it's awfully lofty up here, and it was right near lifetime highs today. So that's a new one for me. DraftKings doing well still. Third day in a row of some nice slippage on DKNG, and Starbucks also down a skosh, working its way lower. I feel really good about this one on the short side as well. The VIX, we're sub-teens again. And as I say, I think that's terrific, paradoxically, for the bears, because I think putting out bearish bets is relatively cheap right now, and that's definitely what I'm doing.